Hey there. In this episode, I want to talk about stress, good or bad. Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here, but you can call me Pajama Grandma. In case you haven't met yet, go and put hashtag pajama in the comments below. So it's the first time you're being exposed to the Pajama Grandma. Stress. Why am I thinking about stress? Well, why do any of us ever think about stress? Because we're surrounded in this ever-changing, ever faster moving environment called life, and a world. The world around us is ever-changing. And that can create stress in our lives. Now, do you think stress is good or bad? How do you feel about stress? I know I used to feel like I was walking a tightrope every single day of my life. And that was really stressful, and it wasn't good stress because I didn't believe that being stressed was good. Now, since then, I've read lots of books and I've taken lots of courses and I've studied and I've done a lot of research into stress, and I've learned that stress, yep, it can be really, really bad if we let it negatively impact us, but it can also be really good. And if we look at stressful situations as an opportunity to grow and learn and experience new things and ask ourselves, what can I learn from this? How can this help me grow? How can I be better at handling this? We're always going to get a better outcome than if we face it with feelings of dread or frustration or overwhelm. So now, in situations where I used to feel stressed out and freak out and be all worried and full of doubt and fear, now I get excited and I get curious and I'm like, what can I learn about this process? Because this is a different process than I've ever been involved in. What can I learn from this situation? And if I face all of the things in the world that happen around me, and just like you, there's always a gazillion things happening around you, with that questioning, curious mindset, I don't feel the negative impact that stress used to have on me. Stress used to have a huge hold on me. 10 years ago, I was a very different person, and stress could really hurt me. It would really slow me down and cause me to second guess my decisions. But now I look at every situation and I realize that my only job in anything is to control how I react to it. So if there's something going on in my environment that I like, I move toward it. If there's something in my environment that I don't like, I move away from it. I just choose to not participate or not do it anymore. And I have found that one way of looking at things, just looking at stress differently, has made a huge impact on my life. Now, I also have realized that I create a lot of my own stress by the way I look at things. I just recently discovered that I'm huge on challenges. I'm either doing a challenge for other people and with other people, or I'm involved in other people's challenges. And this week alone, I joined 2 more challenges. And I don't know why, because I didn't need 2 more challenges. I've got the Women's Summit coming up and I'm working on that big project. But I think the activities of the challenge focus my energy, focus my thinking, and they keep me away from other distractions. So I use the pressure of a challenge to give me small incremental goals to achieve what it is that I want. I use the pressure of a challenge to focus my energy and get me the results that I want faster. So some people hate challenges because they feel pressured and stressed to do something, but that's why I like to create my own challenges, because if I am creating the challenge, I am controlling the pace of it and how I feel about it. I'm pushing myself to achieve more and to do what some people might think is impossible sometimes, but I know that it's possible because I've done it before. So I'm using the challenge to funnel and focus my energy in the direction I want to go. I only join challenges that help me to achieve what it is that I want. For example, I did the One Funnel Away challenge, and people would be like, well, you've been in ClickFunnels a couple of years. Why would you be doing the One Funnel Away challenge? And I did it because I wanted to learn the process that they're using and follow and learn someone else's process, because I've been doing my own for, like 5 years now, but I wanted to know and learn from other people. What are you doing? What works? What doesn't work? And one of the biggest lessons I learned is that my challenges are way too complicated and way too hard. And that's because I set them up for myself and bring other people along. And as I'm setting them up for other people, I need to remember that everybody doesn't think the way I do. Everybody doesn't work the same pace I do. Everybody can't accomplish in a day the same thing I can. Now, there's people that work circles around me. Don't get me wrong. A lot of people that work circles around me. But I also work circles around a lot of other people. I mean, there's a big spectrum on anything in our lives and any level of performance. And, think of exercise. So for example, we're all on a spectrum of exercise. We're all on a spectrum for weight. We're all on a spectrum for business success. We're all on a spectrum for achieving whatever goal or desire we want in our life. And we're all on a journey of moving toward that. And there's going to always be people that are way better and way further along than us. And there's always going to be people that we're much further ahead and farther along on achieving what it is that we want. But the trick is, we don't ever need to compare ourselves to anyone else because we're only on our own journey. Everybody else is on their own journey too. And I'm coming to understand that everything always works out in perfect timing. It always works out, even if it doesn't feel like it at the time, exactly as it's supposed to for my greater good. And sometimes that's a hard pill to swallow, especially if, say, you go for a job interview and you don't get the job and you think you really, really wanted that job. That was the perfect job for you. Obviously, there's something that you don't know about that situation or about that job that the universe knows isn't good for you. And then there's other things where you don't think you have a chance in Hades to get something or have something work out for you. And then it just comes to you almost naturally. And you're like, it feels like it's almost miraculous because things show up in your life that you never even had thought that you had wanted. And they show up and you're just excited and delighted because they did show up. So today, day 332, I believe. Nope, 319. What am I thinking? Day 319. I'm hurrying along my experience and my journey of transitioning from offline to online businesses. Day 319 is all about stress. Eustress, which is the positive form of stress, and de-stress. If I'm de-stressed, I'm feeling tense in my body. I got that little backache. I might have feelings in my chest, or my heart might be beating really fast, or my hands might be sweaty, or I might be super thirsty, whatever. However, de-stress, negative stress shows up in your life, you know what that is. And I'm going to say it's important that you identify that. It's important that you understand the warning signs of stress for you. And then there's eustress, where it's positive stress. You've set a goal, you're really excited about it, you're working toward your passion, and the things that come up, the little obstacles, the little challenges, you get excited about because you look at them as an opportunity to overcome them to get you the thing that you want. Say you're working toward a new car, you want a new car or a new house, and you're doing things and putting things in place to make it possible for you to achieve and get that result, that new car, that new house. Everything that you do to move you toward that makes you feel awesome and better. And if you hit a little bump in the road or something, you just keep focusing on what it is that you want. And that doesn't even stress you out because you're like, oh, stuff happens. Some things work, some things don't. I'm going to try this now. And you get more excited about the next step you're going to take than about the one that didn't work out. So make sure that you're using eustress in your favor by setting goals and objectives and thinking about what you want in the future. And de-stress, acknowledge and understand those signs. And the biggest, fastest way to change de-stress is to ask yourself a different question. Ask yourself a better question. You know, is this real, the feeling that I'm feeling of stress? Or is it something that I can change by changing the way I'm thinking about this particular situation? That works on frustration really well too. I learned that frustration, if I'm feeling frustration, which is stress, because I'm expecting something to be different than it is, if I ask myself just, you know, what does this mean right now, this instant, this very moment, this present moment? I get a different answer than if I'm worrying about the past or fretting about the future and being frustrated because something isn't happening fast enough or something hasn't happened yet. So that's my message for today. Pay attention to your stress, and I will, of course, be with you tomorrow. Bye.